So I'll just go through the main features of the hardware of the screen. The speakers are all integrated, so the sound is 15 watts per speaker, so there'll be more than adequate for the room like this. It's just a commercial TV in theory. It's been designed to be on 24/7, so the run rate is very good. Regards to the bulbs, they've got 50,000 hours, so you're looking at sort of 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. You'll probably get 30 years out of it before you notice any deterioration in that picture. This is our 70-inch. We do screens from 42 up to 82. This is the LED, so it's quite a lot thinner than the LCD for obvious reasons. What we've done, because we know all the children are now growing up with tablets or iPhones or smartphones or Android tablets, what we've done is to make a TV in theory into a giant iPad. So we get to use it as you would on a tablet and use a whole pinching technique to increase or decrease an image according to what you want to look at. Because it's going into an education environment, we're obviously aware of the demands that certainly teachers or also pupils put on interactive whiteboards. So we've actually supplied this screen with 5mm thick glass. So it gives you the ability to give it a good hammer and it's still not going to affect it. In true words, you could pretty much walk on this glass and it still wouldn't break. But because all the technology is in front, it still enables us to use the whole pinching technique and we're not damaging any technology behind the screen. This is just some software called Microsoft Surface Collage, and it allows us to drop any images into a certain folder, and this software pulls those images from that folder. And it's really useful, certainly if those schools have been out there and bought visualizers or document cameras, you've probably sold it on the pretense that you could actually see those images crystal clear, but by the time you pump it through a projector it's very grainy. Certainly on the bigger surface on a smart board you don't get to see a lot of detail. So what we're saying is a bit of a return of investment, because you're looking at purchasing a full HD resolution screen, you now get to see a series of leaf structures if you're looking at that under high definition. All the colours are true colours, so the reds are reds. Even on the latest projectors, you still look at orange for reds, blues or slightly grey in a projector. So it's very important, certainly if we're looking at sort of art or design environments, it's important we have the right contrasting colours. You'll notice obviously when I'm touching it, it's always exactly where I'm touching. I never have to recalibrate the screen, so that's one of the major headaches that teachers have with boards. It's a solution that you can never get away from for an interactive board. Teachers will probably have to do it 2 or 3 times a day, but with this solution, because it's camera technology and we're using drivers off a laptop, it's always going to be as quick as you can respond to it as well. There's also some additional software with Microsoft Surface. It's another app called Microsoft Surface Globe, and this gives us the ability to go anywhere in the world. It's very similar to Google Maps, but it gives us a chance to use it as a giant iPad once again. So to zoom in we use a whole pinch. You'll notice I'm not creating any shadows, which is really important, certainly for the children when they're doing handwriting skills. So we're not blocking off any image when I'm stood in front of it. We can zoom all the way in. It's slightly slow due to internet connection. As soon as we do that, we get to look at stuff in 3D and it will slowly catch up. Again, I'm just using the whole pinch technique to zoom in. If we go to street level, we can start seeing cars, people, etc. on there. And it's ease of use really, that's what I'm trying to demonstrate for the teachers. You will also get part of the package some software called Lynx. Lynx is our format of smart notebook and Active Inspire for Promethean.
Do the Microsoft products come with?
It's a free download, but you need to be connected to a touchscreen. So you also get a copy of CleverLinks. There's 2 versions. There's a light version which 90% of our teachers use purely because it's a cut down version. These are the tools that we've been told teachers use day to day. I'll go through these quickly and then I'll show you the full version to show you what that looks like as well. In the top left here we've got a arrow, and that's basically our selection tool. So if we were to use a mouse on our PC, left click and drag on the mouse, you get a selection box, and that's simply what I'm doing with my finger. The big A little a allows us to put a text box anywhere on our paper. So if I click on there, we've got a text box there. You'll notice up at the top here we've got different fonts, different sizes, bold, italic, as you'd normally expect in a Word document. To save, you go into your keyboard. We've also built you an onboard keyboard, and that will respond as quick as you can type also on there. The next one along is your pencil. Again, we can use finger, or we can actually take a physical pen to the screen. So if you've got kids with dyslexia or special needs, they might have a preferred pen they want to utilise on that screen. So this now gives the ability to use any object on the screen. You'll notice again we've got a range of different options, different colours, and also different thicknesses there as well. We've got an eraser, so we can delete our annotations. We've got a highlighter, so we can go over keywords in text. The red cross, basically once we use our selection tool to go over the objects, if we hit the red cross now, it'll delete all the objects on the paper. These blue arrows are our undo, redo function. Page plus simply adds a new page into our document, and you can add as many pages as you'd like. I'll come back to this traffic light system. We've got an onboard calculator, onboard keyboard, we've got a spotlight, which people call it James Bond effect, and we can hover and focus on any particular object on that screen. And it might be a case you've got a really good background on there, could be an art painting, and you want to slowly zoom out or zoom in on according to that picture.
You change the size of it?
Yep, we can change the shape, we can change the size, so we can make it bigger if we want to, or smaller depending on the what we want to look at. We can also make it slightly opaque, so you can still bring focus to a particular part of that screen, but we still get to read around it. And we can also magnify the background so it comes to the forefront, and you can change the colour depending on what you want to do. We've also got some curtains, and that simply is a tool to bring focus back towards the teacher. Again, we've got the ability to unveil the presentation underneath, but again it stops people from looking at the screen while the teacher's trying to instruct. Again, you've got similar options. You can change directions, so you might want to send that bottom to top, or left to right, or right to left. Change the brightness, make it slightly opaque again, and you can change the colour accordingly. Next one are arrows, and these simply allow you to flick between pages, so we can go back to page 1. And we've put them there because as you're teaching, you might just only teach from this one side of the screen, and it saves you cutting across the screen all the time to flick between the pages. So we've put the arrows there so it gives you ease of use. Next one is your right mouse click. So next time we click on the screen, it does a right mouse click for us, and you'll see there's a range of different backgrounds, so we can change all the background colours to a certain colour. We can also change that background to a certain handwriting types, or graph paper or music paper. So if we were really working on our handwriting, we've got the ability then to put handwriting paper on there, and then we can use our finger or pen to do our handwriting skills.
No chance of the smart one catching for that, is there?
Next one is your shapes. So these simply drag and drop onto your paper format. The next one is your folder, and that simply clears that session over there, so you've got a bigger platform to work from. So this traffic light signal, once you click on there, basically it takes you back to your desktop, and you'll notice you've got a floating toolbar. Now this gives us the ability to open websites, could be opening videos, images, pretty much any media source that you want to, and that toolbar will always hover on top. So say for example I want to point something out clearly on my desktop, I could click on the pencil, double click on there, gives us very similar options, different colours, different thicknesses, but now I've got the ability to actually write over the top of my desktop. Presuming I've done that for a reason, if it's on a website pointing out some key information. I hit these 4 triangles, hit this links light button, and you'll notice it's all captured and taken back into our resource. So we can start building a nice portfolio of resources and also methods that we've gone through to hit the final product. You'll also notice on there you've got a camera, so we know a lot of websites lock all the images down. What we're now giving you the ability to take those images, so you could take rectangle pictures of that with those websites. You could cut around a character and do a freehand caption, or you could simply take the whole page as well. So we've given you the tool to do that. Has anyone got any questions so far?
Is that software comes free with the?
So each screen you'll get 5 licenses. So you've got the ability then, if you do want to put it on the smart board, you can do if you buy one screen.
Not that I think anybody would use smart board or that software really. But are they compatible with smart software? As in,
if
not
you've got
necessarily use, but the resources that they've already gathered.
If you've got any smart notebook files, you can go to File, Export, and it's a common file format. It says a CFF file. Once you put it into that, bring it straight into links.
And if they've got, like some of the teachers have got interactive smart notebook resources in the ones that they've created themselves, quizzes with readable words and stuff like that, would that port over?
That would come across. The only difficulty is when they use the flash that Smart's generated. It's their own flash drivers, and that's where it comes across slightly jagged or out of touch.
So your software, the Link software, is pretty much the same as Smart software. That would allow you to make interactive slides.
It will do basically us Promethean and Smart, because we all go for the same tenders. We all have to tick the same boxes. Right. Smart is still leading in the software. Any teacher looking at this will probably presume it's Smart Notebook because it's very simple. What we're finding, because we're a UK based company, a lot of the tools are a lot more easy to use. There's certain things on here that Smart can't do. So that's why we're finding the transition rate of people moving onto this software is very quick. Once they see it, certainly the light version, don't really come across any teacher that say I do more or I use more tools than that. By simply doing a right click, so if we hold down for a couple of seconds, we can basically select what tools we want. So if you have a teacher that doesn't really use this technology and simply wants a pen and eraser, I may as well just give her a pen and eraser. There's no point in giving her all these other tools. So we can make it as easy or as complicated as people. If you've got people that are quite heavy smartboard users, they'll probably want to use the full version. Using the full version, if I simply click on this guy, it takes us to the full version. As you can see, there's a lot more icons, there's a lot more happening there. I just want to point out a couple of key things for you. Down this side is all your resources. So we pretty much have the same resources as Smart. There's about 10,000 clip art resources in there, and it goes through all different subjects. We've also linked it to Google Education, so once you have internet connection, it'll go straight to Google Education. So you've got millions and millions of resources there, so that's one key thing that Smart doesn't have. We've also incorporated it into WordWall, and WordWall, again, is something Smart doesn't have, and it's for those teachers who want pre-created lesson plans. So you'd simply go into WordWall, put what key stage you're teaching, what subject, and it would go out and find all your lesson plans for you. Quite key for teachers. There's a really nice community now. There's about 80 teachers just filtering in lesson plans all the time, so it's quite a key resource. What we've also got, because the way this technology is, it allows 2 pupils at the same time to use the board. So we can now have 2 kids working exactly the same time using different colours, different thicknesses. The way the teachers use this is they'll either put 1 question or 2 questions, get 2 children up at the same time, go and answer those questions. If they don't know, they refer, and if the class does group activity work, it's a big tick. So it's quite a powerful tool. Again, if we hit a new page to do a new question, it'll save that all as evidence, so we can bring it back and assign who's done what to it as well, or mark it at a later date as well. So that's links as a snapshot. What you also get with this screen, because we all know the majority of teachers still use Microsoft PowerPoint, Word, Excel. As soon as you connect to the screen, it's a hidden tool within Microsoft, but you'll notice it pops up as soon as you connect to it. and it's called Ink Tools. So as soon as we click on that, you'll notice we get Key Essential Tools again. So we've got a pen, so we can utilise the pen. Again, I could take a physical biro to the screen, it's not going to affect it. We've got a highlighter, so you can highlight again keywords, etc, etc. Once we come to save it, it'll save as a PowerPoint presentation. We don't have to export it into Smart, export it into links. It'll save as your Microsoft file. It'll ask you whether you want to keep your annotations or delete them, so you can have an unedited version and an edited version. Again, exactly the same for Word, exactly the same for Excel. So it's quite a key thing because we know 90% of teachers still use this. So it's such an easy transition from using a standalone PowerPoint presentation to an interactive PowerPoint presentation. What you also get as well as part of the package is some new software. It was voted Software of the Year last year and won a number of awards at BET, and it's a way of linking devices like these, whether it's an iPad, Android tablet, smartphone, and it gives us ability, as you can see, for me to interact with the screen wirelessly. I could be at some distance interacting, and people have found it very useful in the fact of if you find some students quite timid up on the big screens. We know certainly teachers are comfortable teaching on interactive boards, so the transition when they get an iPad, really they don't know what to do with it, but because we're putting that image from the board onto the screen, they feel a lot more comfortable being able to use a device like this. Certainly students that are timid will probably find it ease of use when they're sat down in front of the desk being able to use this software as well. Just refresh that. As you can see, I can use my pen to annotate as well on it. I can change that colour pretty much to whatever colour I want, and it's instant. You'll notice I get an orange icon up at the top here. I also get one on my device. If I simply click that on my device, it will save that capture. It will save it to the teacher's laptop, and it will also save it to my device as well. We can also use this as a document camera. So if we're being on field trips, you might have gone and taken a load of pictures that you can bring back into the classroom, or we can also take new pictures as well. So I'll take you three handsome chaps. Also we can use that image, and as you can see, it's immediately on there. Again, we've got the whole pinching technique if we want to increase or decrease, and also we've got the ability to annotate at the top and point out what we need to point out in the image. Again, hit the orange icon, either on the device or on the screen, it just captures it all, so we keep it all.
When you say it saves it, where does it save it to?
This will be a designated file on here which you can change to your path. So if you want a certain folder on your server, then you've got the ability to do that.
Stuff coming onto our local drive and things. So.
Once you download the software, it will set up as a designated display note folder, but you can change that. On here, it will save it, and then you can either email it back out or use a Dropbox facility, or it will save it. You can convert it into PDF into iBooks.
Right.
We've got the ability at any time, again because it's bi-directional, I could annotate or hand my device to a student, they could annotate on here, and the teacher could also then annotate over the top, change the colour and pens.
If I've got a smart device in my pocket, what's to stop me just interrupting the lesson?
Basically, because I've joined as a presenter, as a teacher, I'm taking overall control. This is my teacher's device. If you join, you've joined as a participant, so i.e. a student. If you do annotations on there, it won't appear on here. The whole thinking behind it is, if we're writing notes on a pen and paper, looking up at a smartboard all day, in a month's time will I get to remember physically that presentation that's going on according to my notes? Probably not. But if I'm delivering, let's say a PowerPoint presentation now, you as a student might see something particular about this presentation that no one else has seen and is really important to you. So you on your device would simply make your own notes, make your own captures on there. You might even want to use a sliding text bar on the side here, so you can input all your text in there, and it's bespoke to you, so I won't get to see what's up on there. If I did want to see, so what I'm going to do now is join as a presenter, as a participant, sorry, I'll join on my device. So I can either join as your presenter or participant. If I join now as my participant, I'll put in my name here. Connect. If I jump over here, you'll notice I've got one student joined. There's me. If I've pointed out something or found something really interesting, you could ask me to collaborate. So now I get a message saying I'm in collaboration mode. So now any annotations I do from my device will appear up onto the screen, as you can see. So we've got control of that lesson. So we can get people collaborating with the screen when the teacher wants them to collaborate. And it could be groups of children. Every time another person joins, they'll get a different colour. So we know who's doing what, the annotation, so we can mark down that as well. Again, just click the name, it simply takes them off collaboration mode. So now if I do any annotations, it won't appear on that screen. What we've also got is a message facility. So it might be a case if you send some students outside taking pictures, you might send some students in the library doing some research. You might want to simply type in, there's 5 minutes left to the end of class, please come back to the classroom. Ping it all out and it goes out to all the devices. But you can also set that to single people as well, so it might be the case you don't want to tell someone off in front of the class and send them a quick message saying please stay behind at the end of the class. So we've got the ability to message. We've also got the ability to view people's screen. So again, if my head's down, busy working away, you could check up on me. So you can see a live screen snapshot of my device. So if I'm creating, pick up below so you can see my new annotations. If I'm creating new annotations, you'll be able to see that as well up on there. So it might be the case you're physically checking up on me. Turning that into a positive, it might be the case I've done exceptional work and you want to showcase that to everyone in the room. If we click on there, it'll go full screen as well. Again, hit the orange icon, it'll go back and save it to the presenters. So all that work that I've done will get saved to the teacher's laptop so we can save it as a resource. We've also got the ability to pause devices. So it might be the case that I'm being quite bad in the lesson. Simply click on my name and now all the devices are paused. I can't actually do anything from there. But it could be you want to pause all the class and get focus back to the teacher, so it's a way of controlling what the kids are doing at certain times of the lesson, so it's a really powerful tool.
What software is actually on the device then?
So it's called Display Net, the software, and the way it's done, we've just changed the licensing, how it's done. Basically,
that's your software, Display Net?
Yes. Well, we've got the rights to it. It's a company based in Ireland, but we've got the rights to the software. And we link, per screen will give you 5 presenter licenses. So a presenter license will allow a teacher's device and 1 student's device to connect to that host PC at any one time.
Right.
What you've got then is ability to buy a 10 connection, 20 connection, a 30 connection, or 40 connection, or unlimited connection license. It might be the case of if you've got, let's say you've got 5 classrooms, but you know there's only sort of 16 iPads in that can be shared between 5 classrooms, it saves you a lot of money. Rather than us selling you 5 single classroom licenses, you will basically just buy a 20 connection license and share it between those 5 classrooms for those 16 devices.
So each say the new block, if we purchased 8 of these,
yep,
we'd actually have 40 licenses?
You would have,
yeah. Package?
Yep. Testing my maths then.
And they're not tied to that screen?
No, in theory you could put it
it's a
on 40
license,
PCs, you could put it on a PC that's running a smart board. We're not tying you. Basically, the reason for it is because we know a lot of people are going down the mobile solution route like this, and we know it's not going to be one designated teacher to use that screen. So that's why we give you 5 licenses. But by all means, we know once people are using it, they'll use it quite heavily. In fact, such to say, it's probably doing us out of business because people aren't using the link side of it purely because they've got all the tools they need on the left-hand side to use day to day. Just some developments will be, at the moment, display note we're running 1.5 version. We'll be going to version 2 in June, which will be in iCloud. It'll support in iCloud. So in theory, if you've got students off ill, they could still join in their lesson at home. We'll also be releasing AirPlay, which is Apple TV. So at the moment you'll notice obviously screens going onto the device, but with the AirPlay you'll be able to put the device onto the screen. So if you've got apps that you want to showcase and ping it up onto the screen, then all the kids then can collaborate on top of your device in theory. But again, the difference between it, Apple TV, if you've had any contact with it, it's a case of the last one to join is the person that gets to put their device upon there, so it sort of knocks the first person off. Whereas our device, it would be down to the teacher to instruct that. We'll also, obviously, you'll have the collaboration side of it, so yes, we could get a student's device on there, but we could also then ask for feedback from the other students to start working over the top of their device. We've also just implemented a voting system within this. It's a quick-fire voting system. It's not designed for you to take stats, because we know when you get to that level people don't use it because it's too complicated. So it's a quick design voting system, and the fact if you click on there, it's a text question. So it could be the case of what day is it today, put in the answer, post it all out to all the devices, and you get to see the results from that. We've got simple true or false or yes or no. So it could be the case is everyone happy in the classroom, you get your general feedback in the classroom. Someone might say no, I need some more help, so then you could go and give them one-to-one tuition. We've got A, B and C. I don't know what colour is the sky today. A blue, red, B red, C pink. We've got some prime numbers or scalability charts on there, and we've also got pinpoints. So in theory you could put in, I don't know where is the UK, put a map of the world on here. I think we've still got a map of the world somewhere. I know the UK is there, and we could post all that out, and that will go out to all the devices, and the kids have got to pinpoint where we think the UK is.
Can you save, can you do them before you actually deliver them?
No, it's quick fire voting. So it's more a case of when we've done the stats and found out how many teachers use it, when it's pre-curated, it's very little because teachers won't pre-curate the questions. Some will, don't get me wrong, majority won't. So what we're saying, if you can simply add it in to get some stats back, so if we just do a simple discussion, say, right, let's get the general feedback of the class. It tells us who's paying attention. It keeps certainly the pupils engaged with it because they're not expecting it, and see it's real-time information. So you get to either divert the lesson to a different subject if people have really picked up on it, or you probably need to recapture over some of it if you get a negative feedback. But again, once you're doing the stats, you hit the orange icon, it'll capture all the results for you, so you can see who's done what basically at the end. But you won't be able to take that data out at the moment to a spreadsheet. It may be something we incorporate, but at the moment we want to get people using it. Has anyone got any questions?
What sort of timescale is the new display now?
It'll be due in June, version 2. I mean, what you get with these screens, if you get a perpetual license, so the presenter license will be for life. If you decide that in fact I just don't want the screens, I want to go and buy the software, they're annual licenses. So it's another key thing with the screen. But as part of the whole software with this screen, what you'll find is it will suit the very basic users. So pen and eraser, that's all I want to use it for. It will suit those teachers that simply just want to use it for Microsoft PowerPoint. We still get that interaction, and it will suit those new breed of teachers certainly coming through. All the teachers that really want to engage with devices like this and see a powerful tool. And then you've got that software as well as part of the package. Just one more, it's a bit gimmicky, but all the teachers love it. It's very similar. You've probably seen the concept, you know, where you put your feet in fish tanks and all the fish start to come and feed. Exactly the same. You put your finger down here and what we'll find is all the fish start to come and feed. What it's really illustrating is A, it's exactly where I'm touching. B, I don't have to have an unnatural teaching ability and stand by the side. I can actually stand in front because I'm not generating any shadows, and you'll notice the speed and response of it is as quick as I can move.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
I'll just give you an idea of the video quality. Now. That's at 55.
Time all around the world, children have known there are monsters hiding in their closets. But what they don't know is those monsters weren't always so scary. I can't go to class. I'm not wearing any clothes. They had to go to college first.
You look great, Wazowski. You know, if you're gonna prank someone, the least you could do is think of something clever. What's that?
I love college.
As you can see, it's what you'd expect to see at home. You can see me using Windows, and it works perfectly with Windows. In fact, there's loads of applications which are free of charge for education as well. These are simple apps. It's quite a useful one, this, certainly for your art and design program. It shows the ability that we can actually take a physical paintbrush to the screen. So paintbrush here, and now we can illustrate us actually painting on the screen as well. So it brings it to life a bit more than just using our finger or a certain pen. We can use any instrument on it. Yeah, there's loads. That's about it.
Brilliant. Thanks, Matt.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's brilliant.
All the software that I've shown you today, you can go to www.cleverlinks.com and you can download the software free of charge for 30 days. If you want to do the iPad version, it's called displaynote.com. Again, 30 days free trial. So you can use all that.